This is a tale as old as time. It's a hero's journey. They're full of learning, failure, lots of failure, and some triumph. Now, every good story has a villain. This story has two villains, in fact. My children. They're cute at first, but that's how they get you. They are a huge distraction, as cute as they are. Now, to begin the journey, I had the pleasure of engaging in some visual arts at the uni. Um, and here I can be seen doing some watercolor painting with some wet paper. And really, my aim here was to get the primary colors in their own spaces and use the water to mix them and blend them to reveal what the other colors that they make when they're mixed. You can see here that this one takes a little bit of convincing before the colors are revealed. This workshop was actually a really great opportunity for me to engage in some learning away from home, away from the villains of this story, if you will. Over the course of not just this workshop, but this whole assignment, quote from one of my favorite authors definitely came to mind, Kurt Vonnegut. And it goes, practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow, for heaven's sake. And that really resonates with me, and not only resonates with me, but I've found that it rang true quite a few times over the course of completing this assignment. And just quickly, here we have a few of the other mediums that I was able to engage in, just some working with wire and some clay. And next up we have a nerdy hobby of mine, an old hobby of mine, miniature painting. I busted these out to complete the rest of my 5 hours and found that I ended up spending a lot more time than I needed to. It was very nice getting back to one of my old hobbies again. Painting up this troll figure might have taken me 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on how you count breaks. Despite what some might consider to be just a hobby, or a nerdy hobby at that, I've found that miniature painting has quite a lot of depth to it, actually, with color theory and blending paints and all sorts of different techniques that you can use to make your model come to life. According to Edwards, Caldwell, and Heaton, throughout the primary years, children should investigate a range of paints as well as have the opportunity to use the same paints over time in order to progress their confidence and skills in one area. That's something that definitely rang true to me, engaging with these different mediums, some for the first time and revisiting miniature painting in the other. It's definitely worth revisiting something and gaining confidence in an area when it comes to the creative arts. The researchers go on and explain that when children have the opportunity to mix their own colors, they're more likely to experiment and learn about color. That's something that I really found to be the case even for me as an adult when doing the watercolor mixing. It felt very natural to explore what the colors were going to do and which colors I could make. And now we find ourselves at the stage of the hero's journey known most commonly as the abyss or the death and rebirth. Dancing is not my strong suit. I feel very uncomfortable in my body, so this was by and large the most challenging aspect of this assignment for me. As far as the villains are concerned, if you can't beat them, join them. So I leaned heavily on my youngest to get me comfortable in my body and just move my body for a little bit. We warmed up together quite a few times, ranging anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes, and then I got right on to learning a waltz, which is something that takes me back to my own primary school days. I remember learning from a male primary school teacher. He didn't seem like the type to dance, but he seemed very competent in teaching us the waltz. It was the first formal dance I ever learned, and I have vivid memories of that time. So I thought it was only appropriate to go back and learn the waltz, and I found that I was still very much out of my element. It took me many goes on the beginner video. I would have spent hours trying to get my feet to work. It is not my strong suit. Despite my own awkwardness, one piece of research that I came across while doing this assignment from Neville and Makapulu showed that the children that engaged in dance through an intervention group actually had a large difference in their baseline creativity level, which I found quite amazing, actually. And in the depths of my despair, feeling uncomfortable dancing, I thought the villains would get the better of me, the villains who are responsible for the mess you can see in this video. I'm really sorry about the mess. I had a few tricks up my sleeve, and I was able to put them to sleep before a light appeared on the horizon. The light of music. I feel like it's appropriate here to quote John Painter. It kind of sums up the whole creative arts journey that I've gone on with this assignment. And it begins with the idea of a liberal education, with its roots in classical Greco-Roman thought and the medieval construct that was liberal arts. It had been concerned with the cultivation of a free human being. It was an education that was general, not specialist. It was worthwhile in itself and not beholden to the specific or imminent requirements of society. I mean, ideally, a liberal education produces persons who are open-minded and free from provincialism, dogma, preconception, and ideology. They're conscious of their opinions and judgments, reflective of their actions, and aware of their place in the social and natural worlds. I find this quote to be so powerful and so indicative of why we need creative arts in our curriculum. Why we need creative arts more than ever in our curriculum, if anything. Over the course of my 5 hours with music, it was great to touch my guitar again. I learned Waterloo Sunset that was sung by Elliott Smith. I think it's a Kinks song, but he covered it and I find it quite beautiful. And not only that, but I started composing my own song, taking a little bit of inspiration from the waltz that I learned in dance. So the song that I put together was in 3/4.